Hey everyone, welcome to Updweller, where we help you make smarter decisions about your home. My name's Lacey, and today I'm going to review some quick information on when to service your HVAC. So HVAC service is something that should be done by a handyman at regular intervals, depending on what type of system you have. So for example, I have a furnace, so that needs to be tackled in the fall, and I prefer early fall. Right when the leaves start to change. It's very early. When you look at your calendar, you think, oh, I'm not gonna need this probably for another 3 months. But that's when handymen and professionals get pretty busy. So it's always better to book ahead of time. That also ensures that if something goes wrong or needs to be replaced, you have time to fix it. They have time to fix it. I have had moments where I waited, temperatures were already dropping. I needed to use the furnace and it wasn't working because I didn't get it serviced. So the handyman came, he looked at it and he said, okay, well, this part is broken. We need to replace it, but unfortunately it's an older model. So, we have to order that part. It's gonna take at least a week to get here. And by then everything was delayed. So the sooner you book that, the better. Now, as for the rest of your system, your cooling system should also be booked ahead of time. These are seasonal things, right? You need your cooling system typically in the middle of summer, so you should book in the beginning of spring. Things might take time. Your service might be quick and easy, who knows? But it's always better to hedge your bets. Now, depending on where you live, you might alter that. If, for example, you live in the Northeast and you get a lot of snow back in October, then you're gonna wanna make sure you schedule that service maybe in August for your furnace. And if you're in Florida, you get hot temperatures pretty much year round, you're gonna wanna service that system early. Now, if you have something like a mini split, you might need to service that both times, so pick both ends of that. Now, beyond that, there are some things you can do for yourself without calling in a professional. And that means changing out filters, for example. Filters are probably the easiest thing that you can do as a homeowner to service your HVAC system, and they're also often overlooked. So remember that your filter is there to stop particles, right? When the air blows, it's gonna stop those particles from getting through. But if you have dirty filters, it's not going to function the way it should, right? So if this is your filter, zoomed in by like 1,000, right? You want the air to flow through, but the bigger particles to stop and get stuck. Now, if those bigger particles are stuck and you have a lot of them, there's no room for air. So your system has to work harder, your blower is gonna work harder, your motor is going to work harder. Everything is gonna work too hard, and that's gonna cause stress on your system. It's gonna cause parts to burn out early, they're gonna fail. So changing your filters should be done at least every quarter. I recommend every month. If you like to open your windows like I do, if you have a lot of pollen, if you live near a road, if you're in the city, if you have pets, if you have someone with allergies in the house or asthma, these are all reasons to change filters more frequently. We just had a big wildfire brush through our area, so there was a lot of smoke in the air. I replaced the filters even though it was premature and it needed it. So those are all things you can do. Now, there are services out there if you don't want to keep track of scheduling, because I'm one of those people who definitely forgets. So if you're going to forget, or you kind of know you'll wait until it's already too cold or too hot to schedule, you can hire services like Honey Homes. So Honey Homes gives you, depending on your level, a set number of visits throughout the year. And when you work with the same handyman, they'll come cyclically. They will come to service your HVAC system when you need it most. I prefer working with the same person. I've worked with the same person for almost all of the systems in my home, the plumbing, the HVAC, the roof, all of that, because they know the house. They get to know the house, they get to know me, I know what to expect, I know what quality I'm going to get, and I know roughly what that pricing structure is going to be too. So just remember that when it comes to servicing your HVAC, there are a lot of components you can do yourself, like changing your filters. But beyond that, regular service should happen every year, and it should happen seasonally, in between those two major seasons for each of the respective parts. Now, during that, you can expect your handyman to come in and check things like fluids, check things like motors, making sure that everything's functioning the way it should, making sure that there's coolant, and making sure that everything around certain systems is clear as well. And that's another thing you can do as a homeowner, keeping your external units clear, keeping your vent areas clear, those should be on the side of your house, and you should know when your system's going, you should see air coming out. You wanna make sure that that's clear from debris, weeds, things of that nature. Same with your AC unit. I had a rental property once where the AC unit, when I bought the property, not when I owned it, we couldn't find it. We knew the compressor was outside somewhere, but we didn't know where. Well, spoiler, it was covered, completely covered in debris. It was under the porch, it was covered in leaves, it was covered in tree bits and limbs that had been cut down or broken over the years. So make sure you know where all those components are. Your handyman can also help you trace that if you don't know, and keep those clear in between your services. So our goal here at Updweller is to help your house feel like a home inside and out. So if you like content like this, feel free to subscribe.